What up, people? What's going on, everybody? SPJ here. Got a little overexposed there with the lighting, huh? That was not fun to look at. I was a ghost there for a second. Oh man, it's good to be with you guys. It's good to be here making up for last night's non-live stream. Just kind of had to get out of the house last night. Been stuck inside a lot recently. Spending a lot more time working than I really should for the holiday season. So the wife and I decided to go out and do some stuff last night. Just enjoy ourselves. And just all around enjoy each other's company. Yeah, like, we're not going to talk about Star Wars here on the show tonight. We're not going to talk about it. As a matter of fact, we're not going to talk about Star Wars. We're not going to talk about Judy. We're not going to talk about anything related to that. It's still opening day. So the spoiler police is still on alert. Gotta give yourself at least a month. But I did see it, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it thoroughly, as a matter of fact. Brian, the stormtroopers are never going to hit anything. I think we just need to give up on that. Let's see, Brian Landreth in the house. Elvis. Our runner-up winner in the redraw for one of these sweet, sweet, sweet fuzzbenders. Terry Himes, Ben Coombs, Sour Lemon 567. That's a new name. Did you think we were going to be talking about Rise of Skywalker? Terry's GG&G here as well in the house. Brian Landreth as well. Guys, good to have you all here. Quite a lot going on these days in the lead up to the holidays, but it's been kind of nice the last couple days to kind of, you know, get out of the house, do some other stuff. Not be like so glued to the computer. Apex. Way to go, Terry. Good job. But Apex, I did read your comment, and I will say it about this. If only that was what would happen, I guarantee the fandom would still be pissed off about it, because it's like, how are they dead and able to fight with lightsabers? They're ghosts. They're dead. I'm like, I think Star Wars should be this, but I'm not actually a writer, and I don't understand basic story structure, and I like Star Wars a lot, and I think I'm smarter than every fucking screenwriter out there that thinks they could write I could write a better Star Wars movie than them. They're stupid. Disney's the worst. You can't believe what they did to Star Wars. George Lucas would have been so much better. Fuck you and your microbiology sequel trilogy, George Lucas. Fuck you. Have you guys heard the stories of like some of the things that he wanted to explore? Like, we were already pissed off about midi-chlorians. He wanted to delve into midi-chlorian microbiology. If anybody wants to see that sequel trilogy, then I'm high as a fucking kite. Back to guitar stuff, Red Dirt Mini is the best TS, Brian Landreth says. Yeah, I would agree with that. The Red Dirt's great. Both the DCR and the DDR have the Red Dirt in there, pretty much. made my peace with Jar Jar Binks a long time ago. And the peace was made when my sister was very little. Because what she used to do when I was living with my parents, I used to have this room above the garage where all my gear was and all my stuff was set up. And periodically, you know, she'd come upstairs and to that room when I was in there, and I had an old like TV with a VCR hooked up, and we had all the family VHS collection there, and one of the movies we had on VHS was episode 1. And one day I'm just like up there, I'm practicing, and I like to do TV practice to the TV when I'm doing some more tedious stuff. I just find that it helps with muscle memory a lot. So I just put on episode 1 because it was just there. And she happened to come in and she started watching it and she liked it. And, you know, Jar Jar Binks was one of those things that as a little kid, it kind of roped her in. You know, we forget so often that Star Wars is not a movie for quote-unquote intelligent adults. You know, the original intention really, you know, a lot of those films were made for kids. So what appeals to us about these movies as time goes on is it appeals to the child in all of us, you know. These stories and these legends, we want them to be real and we want to feel them. And so people get so like frustrated with it when it doesn't meet their expectations and it doesn't become something that it doesn't grow up with them, I guess I could say. But Star Wars is not necessarily a movie that's all about, you know, feeding the fandom. It's just about, it's storytelling. You know, fairy tales are fairy tales. You know, The Little Mermaid, Aladdin, all those classic Disney fairy tales, they're always going to be those movies and they're always going to be those same stories. Nothing about it is going to change. Fairy tales have existed for centuries. And that's basically what films are. They're storytelling. And if we can't reconcile the fact that, you know, if we can't reconcile the fact that storytelling is mainly used as a way to sort of teach children, you know, we can't move on ourselves. We kind of create stories to feed the childlike curiosity in all of us, I think. Even when stories get dark. I mean, have you read Hansel and Gretel to anybody recently? And consider the fact that they actually are making a horror movie version of Hansel and Gretel to come out very soon. So, think about that. Oh, dude, Apex, you're absolutely right on that. Yep. Absolutely right. That sounds like a good plan, Brian. Can anybody guess what echo pedal they're hearing right now? That's right, Aaron. As a matter of fact, hold on, I'm gonna go to... I'm gonna do a loop. Check this out. Now, controlling the volume of the loop, I can go back to the delay side, set a delay tone, flip back to the looper, and record that echoed part. There we go. Let's do that. Something like that. All right. All right. Now I can play over it. Yeah, man. This thing is legit. Turn down the depth. Yeah, it's legit, man. This is gonna be a really fun video to make. It's not gonna come out till next year, like right before NAMM, the pedal and the video. So you know, a little teaser, a little taster of what to expect. Kind of digging the fact that it's got you know, the 3 presets. You know, stereo in, stereo out. So if you're into that kind of thing and that's important to you, you know, fantastic. It's there. I run everything in mono, so it's no big deal to me. But one of the things that I really appreciate about it, and I've really grown to appreciate about it, is the pure and simple fact that it's basically like you can make it as like, you know, high fidelity as you might want. Turn up the depth on the modulation a little bit, maybe a faster rate. But I can turn that high pass filter all the way up, and it just takes on this like super hi-fi kind of quality that just is really hard for some of these tape pedals to do really well. Like, most people focus when it comes to their tape echo pedals on making it really like, they want it to get that like aged tape kind of thing, but this is like, but you can hear it. It like really has that kind of practically digital like delay pinginess. But then you can darken it up and warm it up. Put that high pass filter back to like 12 o'clock. And the way that flange works in it, just like, oh. Between this and the tonal recall, I feel like those are the only delay pedals I'm gonna need, you know, because I got the red knob mod done to my my tonal recall, and it's just like, you know, I can get like super murky and pitch bendy kind of you know, delay tones that are just, you know, they're perfect for what they are. Yeah, it's really, really awesome, really cool. I don't really know what else to say other than I think that, you know, obviously has been working on this for a really, really long time. 3 years was my last count. And to see it here in its fully realized form, I feel like it's an awesome pedal in and of itself, but if they're just using this as the jumping off platform, like, it would be cool to see this hook up to MIDI, see what it can do. You know, being able to save more than just the 3 presets on it. And granted, I haven't really delved too much into the MIDI. It's more just sorry, I just realized I'm reading something. Oh yeah, just listen to that. Oh yeah, just all kinds of cool stuff. Oh, running the Walrus Audio Congra for a little bit today. You guys can see the pedals kind of along the back right there, and there's actually more on the floor behind me. I've been mulling over what my top 10 for the year are going to be. This is kind of like top contenders, as well as what's on the floor are also contenders as well. But it's something that I've said before about this whole YouTube thing and this whole YouTube game. I'm lucky enough doing this that I meet a lot of really great people, but I also get to work with a lot of really cool companies. What's up, Francisco? Good to see you, buddy. Thanks for joining in. You get to work with a lot of great companies that right now you cannot put out a bad product. It will not, it's not possible, because if you do, you will be eviscerated within the court of public opinion. Because of that, everything that I get, that I demo, I tend to find is really, really good. Going from, we have the Nux Horseman at the very end of this. Actually, it's just off camera, right to the other side of the DDR. And you know, that's a Chinese-made clone, but it's a freaking fantastic Chinese-made clone. Like, it sounds really good. So it's really hard to discredit that, just as it's hard to discredit, you know, the Chase Bliss Mood, which is a pedal that, for its non-mass appeal sounds, was the second best-selling brand new pedal of 2019 on Reverb.com, which shows you that whatever it does, people want it and people like it and they want to play it. Going to the New Neighbor Neuron, Walrus Audio doesn't put out a bad pedal. They put out pedals that I like less than other ones, but it doesn't mean that the ones I like than, you know, the Slow or the EB10. I have the Congra on the floor. They put out the Monument V2 this year, which was just absolutely fantastic. Still my favorite tremolo pedal for, you know, like all-purpose usage. What else did they put out this year? I think that may have been it. But whatever they put out, I demoed, and it's hard to say whether or not it's impossible to say that any of them are bad. It's harder to choose which ones I liked better than the others. Keeley, the same way. From, yeah, Lillian, there you go. And the, oh my god, the Deep 6 V3, I forgot about that too. Just, yeah, ugh. How do you choose? It's hard, so you have to, force yourself to do it, and when you force yourself to do it, it doesn't always work out very well. Keeley, another one, with the DCR. I was content with the DDR and the Fuzzbender, as well as, what was the other one we did? I think that was it. It was the DDR, the Fuzzbender. I didn't do the synth one this year. That was the only one of their new stuff that I didn't do. But between those, it was hard enough. Then coming to the DCR, and then, talking with them and working with them to do this custom Fuzzbender, you just realize, and then with Echoes here now, it's so hard when you establish these relationships and you play this stuff and none of it is bad. It's really hard to make these lists. And then not only that, because you do so much of it, you have to go back and relive those moments by watching the old, and even just, at the end of the year, plugging everything in and seeing how these things really work out. It's, it's hard to say. Aw, thanks, Francisco. I appreciate that. That really means a lot. I guess my opinion and my perspective comes from the fact that I just started my channel. I started my channel 10 years ago this year. And, back then, YouTube wasn't a career. You couldn't do anything like that. There wasn't the purpose of it. Slowly over time, it's evolved, and being a YouTuber has become a job. It's become a career, and you can build a life for yourself off of it. At the same time, the industry is completely different from where it was 10 years ago. But through that 10 years, I've worked in enough situations within the overall gear business to not only see it as I do as an everyday consumer, someone who's buying guitars, amps, and pedals. As a matter of fact, I rarely buy gear. And that's not me bragging. I'm just saying I literally buy stuff very rarely, and it takes a lot for me to take my money and spend it on something. I haven't bought a new guitar in a very long time. I will be getting Jennings guitars to make me a custom Navigator. That'll be the first guitar I buy in a very, very long time. I'm selling more gear than I'm buying. The last amp I bought was my Carvin V3, which is right down there, back there. And I bought that when Carvin was going, the factory was closing up, and it was one of the last two ever made in the old San Diego factory. Yes, no Strat love for you. No, not yet. Not yet, at least. There's some things developing in that department that we'll talk about in 2020. But I'm excited for it. We'll see how things go. Funny, but at this very same time, because put a link in the description for your reverb shop. It is in the description, actually. It's one of the... They're right at the top of the description box. There's 3 links. There's a subscribe to my channel. There's a Patreon link, which if you haven't done so already, please do check out. I know you've checked it out, Francisco. Thank you so much for that, by the way. I really appreciate that. And then there's my reverb shop link. I don't have a whole lot of stuff up right now. Thank you. Thank you very much, Terry. Yeah. So I don't have a whole lot of stuff up right now. I actually need to put some stuff up this weekend, which is directly related to this week's episode of Stompbox Saturday, which is the brand new Retro Head Effects Toxic Fuzz, or not the Toxic Fuzz, excuse me, the Mystic Drive. And with the guys from Retro Head down in Argentina, we've made an arrangement where they've sent me several of the Toxic Fuzzes and the Mystic Drives to be able to make available to you all here in the United States and in Canada. Obviously, if I ship to Canada, it's going to cost a little extra to ship, but we wanted to basically keep the prices fair. We wanted to be able to make them more accessible to you all. So we'll pretty much be listing those through the holiday season. And afterward, before NAMM, I'm pretty sure we're gonna, I can't remember the prices off the top of my head. I have that stored somewhere in my communications with them. But, you know, $200 for the Toxic Fuzz, which was one of my favorite pedals of last year. It's a pretty awesome, flexible fuzz if that's something that you're looking for. But I've seen the industry through so many different angles, both as a buyer and as someone who works in the business. I understand business choices. I understand why certain things are done. You could say I'm jaded by the system, and I don't feel like I'm jaded by the system. You could say that you know, I'm just paying lip service to my friends, and I swear to God, I am not doing that. I just believe in the stuff that my friends make. They are making great products, you know? Yeah, Francisco, you're not wrong about that. If you want the good stuff, you gotta pay for it. And you know, that even comes with like, I've been getting into browsing reverb for old pedals. As a matter of fact, my buddy Dakota from Dakota's Cool Guitar, who we have like a ton of videos in the can together that I'm waiting to upload. Hopefully you'll be seeing those in the course of the next few weeks. Hopefully, we need to talk a little bit about those, me and Dakota. But the truly good stuff costs money. And you know, a lot of the complaints I hear about certain pedals are, oh, they're too expensive. At GitCon a couple of years ago, you know, Dan and Mick from that pedal show were on a pedals panel with me, and the question was posed like, what is the industry missing? And Mick said something to the effect of, well, what it's missing is it's just missing more cheap or more inexpensive good gear. And at the same time, he brought up a great point about, you know, how much is too much? You know, what are you really looking for here? Like, how inexpensive is how expensive is too expensive for you? And I think we run into that a lot these days, where, you know, I remember when the EB10 was the DEF CON 4 and people were, you know, up in arms about how much it cost. And the price on it was pretty steep for what it is, but now I feel like in its current incarnation as the EB10, this pedal is well worth the price of admission, because they've taken that older platform and they've expanded upon it and made it 10 times better than it was last year. So I would definitely count my chickens before they hatch and say that this will be in the top 10 of 2019, because the DEF CON 4 was in my top 10 of 2018. So only time will tell where exactly it falls on the list. So you all will have to come back for that video. And the other thing for me too is I have to realize at a certain point that nothing is ever going to be perfect. Case in point, with these bootlegger guitars, they did not come out of the box perfect, and rarely does a guitar I get ever come out of the guitar case perfect. And if it does come out of the case perfect, it is the exception and not the rule. We often, count hatch before chicken yet. That's funny. That's funny, Terry. But it just doesn't happen that way. Stuff isn't. This is an imperfect. The world is an imperfect world. Screws fall out, and those things happen. So you go to people you trust to take things that aren't 100%, and you figure out a way to make them 100%. Without Mike Adams and his abilities of working with instruments, this bootlegger would not be the guitar that I'm playing right now. If you need to go rest yourself, go rest yourself. Well, you and me both, Aaron. I'm kind of running on fumes as well. I haven't been sleeping that great the last few nights. That's funny. I think we're only going to go a couple more minutes anyway. Francisco, I usually like to have the top 10 list come out on New Year's Eve. Usually it'll come out like midway through the day. So we'll probably do a little premiere for that. I know usually I like to do, one of the things I've been trying to establish with the Patreon is releasing those videos early. But I like the, excuse me, I like the premiere. I think it's kind of cool for us to watch the video together and talk about it. It kind of is like a little running commentary thing. So, this Sunday night will get crazy. Just saying. Oh, yeah. Crazy Sunday nights. Speaking of Ben and Aaron, 27 days till we're together again. Aww. Yeah, looking forward to NAMM. Things have changed over the course of my planning for NAMM, so NAMM's going to be a little different than I really wanted it to. There's just so much going on. It's been so hard to plan anything, really. Whatever. Anyway, guys, I'm feeling a little dragging right now, but I wanted to come back on here do a live thing since we didn't get to it last night. Hang out with you guys. It's been fun. Saw Star Wars. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm a little tired though, so, and I still need to help my wife out with some stuff, but she graciously let me come hang out with all of you. She usually lets me hang out with you guys. She knows how much you mean to me. Oh God, Brokeback Mountain, SoCal. Oh, he had to go there. So, I'm going to say goodnight to you guys for now. I want to thank you guys for coming in for this little impromptu live stream. It's been fun hanging out with you guys. Next week, same old bat time, same old bat channel. It'll be the day after Christmas, so there'll be plenty, hopefully, to talk about. I hope. Maybe some new gear acquisitions you can tell me about. And for now, I just want to say thank you all for joining. Thank you all for watching. Come back tomorrow. Stompbox Saturday returns with the Retro Head Effects Mystic Drive. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys next week after Christmas. So if you celebrate, Merry Christmas. And enjoy your holiday. Enjoy your families. Have a good time. Stay safe. And until next time, I wish you all great tone and happy stomping. Good night, everybody.